Hello, everyone. Today I will be talking to my two friends, Anna Rose and Amelia. And I have spent many years talking to and discussing with Anna Rose various questions about God, the world, and related matters. And Amelia is Anna Rose's wife, and she is not in our faculty. She is a relative outsider, which is why I have invited her, one of the many reasons. So, Anna Rose, are you ready for my grilling?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question is, when people hear the word divinity or the phrase faculty of divinity, they may feel a bit puzzled or confused. What does that word mean, according to you?
Divinity, I think it's a nicely broad word. I don't think it has to mean God. I think it's sort of that like kind of beyond human kind of thing, or more than creation, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That sort of got a bit of like numinous.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it means maybe God, or that which is infinite but which contains the finite.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is the quest for the infinite that contains the finite.
Yeah.
Why do you say infinite containing the finite? Can it not be the other way around? Finite containing the infinite?
I think it is maybe both. I don't think I think so it's it's a bit like a fried egg, and we are the yolk and the infinite is the white.
Yes.
And so it's all the same substance, but we are the finite form of that substance, maybe. But that's not to say that we are God.
Okay.
I think it's more that the infinite is not a separate thing from the finite.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
It's everything that.
Now, Amelia, as I introduced you to the world as a relative outsider, you have not been in this faculty, but you must have had many discussions with Anna Rose about God, self, not self.
Yeah.
What does that word divinity mean to you? Do you think it's some kind of a Victorian word, or a Gothic word, or a Norse word, or an Old English word, or a Latin word?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, all I can tell you is what I personally believe, which is, so I'm a pagan, and paganism can mean so many things to different people.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it just means nature-based worship. So for me, so a lot of pagans might have like a pantheon of divinities. They might have Old Norse divinities. They might have Celtic divinities, or ancient Greek is another one. But for me, at the moment, and I'm always changing my mind, I see the earth as a manifestation of Gaia, obviously ancient Greek goddess of earth. And so I see the earth as Gaia, and she is divine. So the earth is sacred. And I don't at the moment sort of see the divine as like a pantheon of gods and goddesses who are in the sky. I just see like everything in the natural world, so the earth we walk on, the trees, everything, animals, as inherently sacred.
Right.
Yeah.
So is Anna Rose a goddess?
Well, I think she is. I think she's perfect, but actually it's really interesting you ask that, because the only thing I'm stuck on is if humans are divine. And I don't think we are, because I think we're removed too much from the natural world. So I would see everything in the natural world, animals, grass, trees, yada yada yada, that's divine. But I don't see humans as divine. I also don't see human-made products as divine. So like plastic, but whereas stone is natural, so I would see that as close to the sacred. But this might not make any sense. This is just my view.
No, that's fine. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Working on it and changing my ideas.
A while ago, you said you are always changing your mind. So
Yeah.
Have you changed your mind in the last 2 minutes?
Not in the last 2 minutes, but in the last few years.
Okay.
We've had lots of discussion.
Yeah.
I think we're like a hair apart almost.
Oh,
You're a
okay.
pantheist, I would say, and I'm more of a panentheist. I
Right.
tend more towards panentheism,
Yeah.
and you're
Okay.
pantheist.
Okay. So we agree that humans are not divine, but what about dogs? Are dogs divine?
Yeah, I would definitely see them as divine, or closer to the divine than humans. So our dog is pretty special. Yeah, another thing that I'm working on at the moment, which I'm really confused about, is I'm not sure that I believe the divine is omnipotent or omniscient. Like I think that I don't know if necessary. I don't know, but I don't know if the goddess is like can she change things? Like, what's going on? Because I think what I struggle with is
Yes.
so many animals, there's so much animal suffering,
Yes.
which is why I'm trying to be vegan.
Yeah.
So would an omnipotent God allow that? Do you know what I mean? These are just the kinds of things that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
and what I get really stuck on,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what's going on? How does this fit with my theory? So
Yeah, when talking about God, the fact that you're feeling stuck on is a sign of progress.
I hope so. Yeah.
Now, talking about omnipotence, that brings me to the next question I wish to put to Anna Rose. So, Anna Rose, I know that for many years you have been struggling with chronic pain, migraines, headaches. How do you reconcile this with your faith in God, who is omnibenevolent, full of love? When you are in the middle of a painful headache, do you not feel like crying out to God, my God, why have you forsaken me?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
often, and sometimes I do that. I think I've thought about it a lot because it's more the migraine has kind of narrowed my life down so much that I feel I can't do what I maybe have been called to do by God or would like to do. And I think, well, why is that? Why has this happened? So I think that I don't think that God, well, actually a priest told me this, that if God is the kind of omnipotent being who kind of pulls strings and makes plans and stuff, that's not the sort of God that you would want to believe in, really. And instead to think that God makes the best out of each situation. I quite like that. I think all I think is that actually when I'm in a really bad pain crisis, I am just a creature, and anything in life that reminds you of your kind of creatureliness, without wanting to sound too sort of punitive and Calvinist, I don't know, is a good thing. It reminds you are just in your body, and I think that is a helpful thing. But on the whole, it is really hard, and I don't have any understanding of it. But I think if I did, then that would mean that God wasn't God.
So you mean to say you have tried to make sense of your suffering as a very mysterious kind of calling of God to you, to cultivate a certain kind of waiting on God?
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's easy for me to think that in moments when I'm not in it, but that's reflecting on it, I guess. I think it's
I mean right now it is easier for you to talk like this.
Yeah, exactly. But when I'm
when you're in the moment,
and really when I'm frustrated with like not being able to work as much as I want to, or finish something to the standard I like to, that's when I find it the hardest. Actually, when I'm in pain, this is when I'm just a creature, and that's easy. That's easier. So So
a lot of our work in this faculty is about writing books and articles, 10,000 words, 20,000 words, which are beautifully constructed, hopefully argumentatively dense and all of that. But in those moments of suffering, do you not feel like all these books have just dissolved into non-significance, pointless? They have become destroyed from this existential devastation you're going through.
I think what I like about philosophy of religion is that it feels like it's like the language is taking you to a point where you realize you cannot speak. To the only wise response is silence. And it feels like sometimes that's the whole point of philosophy of religion, is to say, oh, look how much we're tying ourselves in knots about this, because it's not for our understanding.
All right. Okay.
And it, like, I don't know, it feels a bit like a dance or something. When I think when I'm in a lot of pain, again, it is just, it goes beyond all those words and stuff. And the same with the deep frustration about working. I don't. It sometimes sort of mysticism is helpful. I think. We were talking about earlier about Atman and knowing, maybe thinking that the whole infinite universe is within you in some way.
And that can be a form of consolation. That somehow you are at home.
Exactly. Or that, again, I am a creature, and in my very creatureliness, when all of the mind and thinking has gone away, that's actually where you are in communion with God.
Right,
maybe.
Let's turn to Amelia, who has been listening to us patiently. Now, according to you, do you think the study of religion can bring about some kind of a concrete change in the world?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
only talking from a pagan.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I know only the teeniest, weeniest, tiniest bit about Gaia theory.
Okay.
James Lovelock.
Let's have it.
From my understanding,
Yes.
my very, very basic understanding, is to do with the fact that the natural world and us, we're all interconnected and everything's alive.
Yes.
And I would have thought that that would help us with like climate change activism to remember that we are, when we're polluting the earth, we're polluting something that's alive and in my view sacred. And that helps us to take a sort of step back and think maybe we shouldn't be polluting the earth, maybe we should be trying to help her.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. And also from, you know, an animal cruelty perspective and like the rise of veganism and everything, you know, they're remembering that we're all connected to animals. I mean, in my view, I think they have souls. So yeah, I think it can help remind us, religion, paganism anyway, can remind us that everything is interconnected and everything we do has consequences. So yeah,
that's a deep thought.
It makes sense in my head, but I don't know if any of that actually made any sense. So
it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the challenge always is to actually concretely implement it in the real world with all our complex ambiguities and things like that. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense. And now the final question for today, Anna.
Okay, I'm ready.
So you have spent 3 years or maybe even 4 years now in the faculty in one way or the other. How has the time you have spent in the faculty so far changed your understanding, reshaped, recalibrated your understanding of what it means to be human?
It means to be human. I think it has given me words and concepts and tools to juggle with, to reach that point, like I was saying about philosophy of religion, to reach that point where you have to acknowledge there are no more words. So I think it's taught me that being human is fundamentally mysterious. And it's, in terms of my faith, I suppose it is, I think in particular studying Advaita and Bhakti has taught me that, I think it's that element of divinity, or the finger pointing at the moon of divinity in yourself. I can't think of anything else.
So somehow trying to understand your deep relationality with the cosmos.
Relationality.
That has kind of begun to change your understanding of what it means to be human.
And relate, like, I just keep coming back to relationality. I think that maybe the divine is in relationships, and like with the Gaia stuff. That's the essence.
Indeed.
All this interconnectedness. And that's what it means to be human. To be human is to be related.
Yes. And Amelia, the final question for today.
Okay.
You don't think she's some kind of crazy person doing divinity, God, and all this kind of stuff? You think she has her feet firmly planted on the ground?
Yeah, definitely. I think Anna Rosa's concept of religion is all about love. And I think that what Anna Rose does as a result of her religious belief that love is like almost divine, I think you put that into practice by being a very loving person. What?
Just be nice about me.
Because you're being recorded. Is that
yeah. She's a very loving person in day-to-day life, and she's very compassionate. And
you are. Indeed.
I think that your interest in divinity and your study of religion informs that.
That's good.
Inherently.
That's important.
That's how it helps.
So now here's the good news. After all this food for thought, we will go out and have lunch.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Thank you.